Today on Toy Geeks, we're going to talk about hunting that elusive, exclusive Baroness figure, and we're going to talk about the most overdone toy lines of all time. All that and more today on Toy Geeks. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toy Geeks. My name is Jay, and with me, as always, is none other than John. John, how you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I am doing all right. Excited to be here to talk toys with you, John, as always. A lot of stuff to talk about. But before we get into anything today, definitely want to give a rest in peace out to Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther, Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, just a fantastic actor that gone way too soon. Like
way too soon.
Super sad to lose him.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, like just unreal. And you know, apparently he had colon cancer for like 4 years and did all like Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, all while battling colon cancer. Just absolutely unreal, like a heroic performance.
Yes, literal hero strength.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Just unreal. And the geek world absolutely shocked, and just the world in general shocked, because he just did such a great job. I mean, we talk about, you know, Christopher Reeve's Superman as like the Superman, or Chris Evans as
Captain America.
You know, just like took on the role, and you can't like imagine anybody else in the role. But now that's the world we face, a Black Panther without Chadwick Boseman at the helm. But super sad news this weekend.
We got great performances, ones to remember.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So and with that, in a kind of toy-related area, you wanted to bring up kind of just something that's kind of a sad byproduct of
yes,
current
situation. It's we've mentioned it before, the Princess Leia effect.
Yeah.
You know, the price gouging of Black Panther figures right now.
Yep.
And it's so tasteless. And I'm a toy dealer by, you know, that's how I make my living. And I was, you know, like I said, I had 5 Black Panther figures sell overnight. I had no idea why. When I woke up in the morning, I hadn't seen the headline yet.
Yep.
And, you know, all my prices were less than retail on all of them, because that's about what they were going for. They're not in a shortage of any kind.
Yep.
And, you know, I just don't understand the thought processes of some of these dealers. Sometimes there's no shortage of these figures whatsoever. Why sell a figure that was going for $15 all of a sudden, you know, you're cashing in on someone's death?
Yeah. No, I agree. And I really think, and Hasbro will probably do a commemorative one. I mean, I get it. I get people wanting to get the figures, like, oh crap, I never got a Black Panther figure. I need to get a Black Panther figure, you know? And so, so I get the maybe increased demand, but to your point, there's a boatload of those figures out there. So, you know, let's kind of be respectful, and, you know, figures going from $15 to like $100 is kind of effed up. And Chadwick Boseman would be cool with it if he was still here. Fetz in the chat says, I still need to get 2 Black Panthers from, maybe he's going to still write, but
we'll see. Fetz, I love your logo.
Oh yeah, Fetz is awesome. Fetz is a long-time friend from the Lost Podcast days.
Yes. Fetz representing.
Yep. So yeah, I hope, you know, maybe they'll do a commemorative pack or something. Like maybe they'll go to like a charity that he supports, or maybe a cancer charity or something good to come out of it, because it is a truly sad story. And yeah, we'll just kind of have to see how that all pans out, because I don't think they filmed anything for Black Panther 2. So, you know, the entire MCU, the post kind of core 6 Avengers MCU, you know, from all of our minds, probably, you know, Black Panther, T'Challa was going to be, you know, one of the main
Yeah.
characters. And
Mhm.
now that's gonna have to change. Who knows? I love Suri. Does she take the mantle in the comics?
You're asking the wrong person on that one.
But anyway, I mean, there's a lot of different ways to go about it. But I don't think don't recast it. Don't recast the character.
No.
If somebody else take on the mantle or something like that. That would be my thoughts there. But other than that, John, we have a new view for you today.
Yes. My entire
you got flipped the script, so to speak.
Yeah, my office is being under construction. I mean, the lighting is terrible. I bought new lighting, so hopefully this week I'll work on that. But I built a new desk from scratch. It's tall. I have a mic arm.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Jay, it's on loan right now until I pick one up. But I just like to have, a more organized, pod-friendly space. I was working on that old folding table for way too long. But, we've been in this house for 2 years. There's a lot more, projects that take a necessity over my office and my play space.
But it looks great. I think it is very pod-friendly.
You can see, maybe if I can get a little boop. You see my Jaws collection going.
Exactly. Oh, you got a big old
Batman. My 4-footer.
My wife and I love Shazam. But my wife Colleen still hadn't seen it. We watched it this weekend, and one of my favorite scenes is when he's running away from Dr. Zavod. He throws the big Batman out.
Yep. When they're in the toy store.
Yeah.
It's just a Jack's Pacific.
It's not Batman. It's that one, but the black and gray one, not the light blue one. Anyways, Paul Kane, good friend, says Suri did be Black Panther for a while. So there's comic precedent.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
John also says she does take the throne in the comics. So I would see that's how that would go in the films. And Amanda Van Thor crying, tears. Absolutely. Just absolutely sad. Like my Colleen, she cried because it dropped Friday night. And I know you could have been early. But she cried the rest of the night. It's definitely sad. All right, let's go to happier things. Recent toy hauls. John, what do you got?
Oh, none. This week was nothing but a big disappointment. You ready with the button?
Here we go. How was your week?
Nothing.
Oh man, that's how it goes sometimes, I knew some, kind of big things on the horizon that could have landed.
I know. I had something lined up. These things don't always pan out. It is what it is.
Yep. It'll pan out, and it'll be next week. You'll have all to talk about. I, on the other hand, have been desperately, because we talked about GI Joes last week, and I have been desperately searching for that stupid Target exclusive Baroness figure that comes with the motorcycle, and it has been a pain in the neck. Let me tell you, they've been hitting Raleigh, and we're in a few toy collecting groups, and people keep finding them. And I live close to 2 Targets. And so I usually drop my kids off for school in the morning. So I have been going to Target as it opens every day this week, because they've been hitting all over the place this past week in RDU. And every time, no Baroness, none. And then I keep seeing other people post that they got them. So I have struck out big time all week long on this stupid Baroness figure. And they're going for $100 and something on the secondary market, which stinks. So I'm not going to spend that much for it.
Do we know how many come in a case?
3, I think. But the problem is, I think all the GI Joes have had this problem. And I talked to the toy manager for the Briar Creek Target today, and she was saying that they're sending them piecemeal. And on the Fwoosh, and I should have uploaded the picture here, apparently there's just a warehouse full of them, just in customs in Florida.
Really?
And saw pictures just from floor to ceiling warehouse of Baronesses and shipper boxes. And what Target is getting is just a couple of them, not even packaged in the shipper box, but just randomly in with other toys and stuff like that. And so they're kind of trickling in super slow. And so the demand is higher than the supply, obviously. And people are being, I don't want to say ruthless, they're just being very aggressive on getting it. Like people are driving in from Virginia to try and get them in the Raleigh-Durham area. So there's too much competition to try and get too little figures. And I clearly am not skilled enough in finding them because
but you know one thing I wonder what will happen is one thing that happened around here, because we have Ross stores, and I don't know how national or regional they are, but back with like the 25th anniversary Joes, like later in the line, and then between 2009 and 2010, a lot of those store exclusives, again, they sat somewhere and they ended up going to the discount chains afterwards when they were supposed to be exclusives to begin with. And it just, like this, it could happen. Who knows? These warehouses, or somebody might get sick of looking at them and say, all right, ship them.
That may happen. And so that's where I'm going to be patient, because they've made a lot of them. It's not some limited exclusive. I've seen the warehouse full of them, so I know they're coming. To your point, it may be a TJ Maxx, Ollie's, Five Below, whatever. I don't know, but I'm just gonna have to resist and just be without it.
You can do it.
Promote the Joes to right here. There they are. I put them in my Expedit, or not?
Oh, nice.
My Detolf right back there. So they got promoted, but I would love a bear. And again, I love the toys. Not very nostalgic for anything else but the toys, just from my own perspective. But these versions of the characters are freaking awesome. And let's all be honest, the Baroness is a hottie, and we need to add her to the collection. So anybody else out there, I'm sure PD Dubs, if he's watching or listening, I'm sure he's got like 7.
Right. He's got a bike for every trooper.
Oh man. So we'll have to wait and see. But for me, a big whiff. And even our friend Gary, who's had pretty good luck at finding the Joes, because we were kind of texting back and forth. Again, I was going to 2 Targets every morning, and nothing, nada. Okay. Because of me going to all these Targets every day, I've actually found a bunch of other stuff. Kind of wanted. It's kind of hard to find. And so here is my actual haul from this past week. And this is how the exclusives work, and because I've spent way too much money. This is what I've picked up this week.
Nice. You got the King Kong?
I got the King Kong. At Briar Creek one of the days. King Kong. I got the Metalhead. I got the April and Foot Soldier 2-pack. Got the War Machine. And I bought the Dagobah Luke and Yoda, but I forgot I pre-ordered it at Hasbro Pulse. So that's actually shipping this week. So if anybody out there needs a Luke and Dagobah Yoda, hit me up, or I might just try and trade it or something like that. And then
I'd probably take it from you. That's one that I do want.
Okay, well, cool. Awesome. And then out of the cartoon Spider-Man stuff, I really dig the Daredevil. It's very like that old school Toy Biz Daredevil toy. I had that as a kid. So I found that like that. And then for the Electro and Green Goblin, it's a really cool version of those characters. So whenever I do my Marvel display, I was like, I might as well get him. And then Gwen Stacy. You gotta have a Gwen Stacy.
You gotta have her, yeah.
So that's what I picked up. But out of those, to your point, the King Kong is freaking amazing.
It looks amazing.
That's
on my list.
It is so cool. It is like a sleeper hit, I feel, just because it's not a character we've really gotten a lot of figures of. And then especially getting like a classic King Kong. It looks really, really cool. And it's actually the only kind of thing I would probably knock it for is I have a Godzilla versus Mothra from NECA Godzilla. This is a lot bigger than that one. So when I put it on my shelf, and I'll show you how it looks with the shelf, you can see like how much bigger it is than the Godzilla. Which again, so I have them separated here because I have a Mego 78 King Kong, and then I've got an Imperial Godzilla, which every kid had that Godzilla. Like that's like I think was standard issue.
Yeah, it's like a rite of passage if you were born
exactly
at all.
You sign your birth certificate, they hand you the Imperial Godzilla. But so it is freaking cool. It's $29. So for what you get, and you also get an extra set of hands and another head sculpt. And yeah, and it's got ratcheted hip joints, so it can really support the weight. It's a hefty figure.
Nice. Yeah, I think the last decent Kong we got was the McFarlane Movie Maniacs one that came with like the steel girder stand.
Yep. It's so cool. Oh, of course, PD Dub's got the Baroness.
Of course.
I'm happy for you, PD. Okay.
Yeah, we'll all get one. It's okay.
It'll happen. I was going to 3 Transformers Quintessence to be delivered today, but it got delayed till tomorrow. Ugh, sorry. But hey, tomorrow. That's not that long ago. I have the Mezco King Kong. I've been debating the NECA one. Worth it? Yeah, absolutely. Definitely Geek Dad Life buy. It's $29, $29.99. And the sculpting's amazing. Like the paint apps, like, and you can't really see it here, but like his eyes look real. Like it's a really well done figure. Absolutely, it could be a sleeper hit of like best figure of the year. Really, really good. So hopefully more and more kind of hit stores. I didn't know you wanted one, or I would have picked you up one, John. I am sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll find it.
I need to have the GIF of Alfred from Dark Knight Rises. Got my vintage collection Power Droid this past Friday. Awesome. Kong's, he looks amazing. Get him if you find him. The Garage Gamer on Instagram. Hey guys,
what's up?
Garage Gamer. You don't follow his Instagram. He's got a lot of awesome games in that garage. Okay, last bit of haul happened this morning. Today was the drop date of the Galaxy's Edge kind of Target cross promo that's supposed to be happening. It was supposed to coincide with Star Wars Celebration. That got canceled. And but still they have all this stuff they were setting up to go with Target. So all of that was supposed to be hitting Target retail today. And there were 2 figures I really wanted from the Black Series. They were doing a 6-inch Hondo figure, which if you've watched Rebels or Clone Wars, or you've been to Galaxy's Edge, he kind of is the main character for Smuggler's Run. So they're doing a Hondo figure. Love Hondo. Would love to have him in my Star Wars collection. And then they were also doing the DJ Rex, who was the original pilot in Star Tours. Now he's like a DJ, I think, in I'm looking on the bar. So they were doing a figure of him. So went there today, got there bright and early. And before it opened, the Briar Creek one opens at 7. So I got there at like 6:50. Nobody else was there. So I was like, all right. I'm here, and our open toy group, they posted like who has inventory where, and Briar Creek said they had 4 of each there, so I was like, awesome. And then right as like 7 dropped, another gentleman like gets out of his car. He's wearing like a Star Wars shirt, has a Star Wars license plate. I'm like, oh, you're here for the
he's not there to buy little people.
No, he's not. And he was like super prepared. He had like the DCPI number, like he was like ready to go. Ah, cool. He's a big fan. His name's Mike. Don't think he listens or anything, but like that. But anyways, so made a new Star Wars friend today, and we go to the aisle, and there is none. There's none of the figures, and so it was a bit of a disappointment. I'm like, oh man, they say they're here, but him being very experienced is like, nope, it says it's in the inventory. And I was like, okay, well maybe we can find somebody and then you can look for it. So the lady there that is the kind of toy manager for the area. She was like, well, I got nothing better to do. Just give me the numbers. I'll try and go find them. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. It's very kind. So she goes back and she comes back out with a handful of the Galaxy's Edge Star Wars Black Series figures. So I got my Hondo, which I'm really pumped about. He looks great. And since she brought out a set of all 4, I got all 4. So I got that. And then the Rex.
Oh, nice.
Who's awesome, and he's in a bigger
thick box, yeah,
because he's big. He's like width wise, he's big. And then 2 new troopers. So we've got a Captain Cardinal. So I guess he's like a Captain Phasma kind of guy. So he served as Admiral Huck's personal guard. So he's kind of all red. I don't know. And then this cool kind of mountain trooper who kind of looks like, one of those troopers from Rogue One.
Yeah, it's like a shore trooper almost.
Yeah.
I like that. Those are some of my favorites. I love those colors.
Yeah. So yeah, it all worked out. So that gentleman got 4 and I got 4. I'm an opener, so I didn't really give a crap about the box condition. He was like very adamant about the condition of his box. So I was like, here, like if mine are better than the ones you got, take those. I don't care. So it was that. So while I didn't get a Baroness, at least I had some successful pickups at the Targets this week. All right, let's go through some of the comments here. TVC Hondo. I wasn't gonna do vintage collection because I'm not really doing the 3 3/4 inch stuff anymore. I love the true vintage. I have a vintage collection I'm trying to get, but if I'm going new, I think I just like 6-inch better. But the new BS Ewok T-Boat looks amazing. Seriously, like everything Hasbro's doing right now from a sculpting perspective, and with they've gone a step above for sure. I'm happy that I found out that someone has gotten me a Baroness for my birthday since they knew I wanted it, but they won't give her to me until my actual birthday in October. What is that? Come on.
That's a tease.
10880. I assume you're a grown-ass person at this point. You're a child. Have them send it to you now. The Tree Shaker says, Jay, I found a small Slimer pop at GameStop that goes perfect with the Plasma series. It's articulated and just about perfect scale. A Slimer pop that's articulated? I don't know that. Cool. Send a picture of it to toygeekshow@gmail.com. I'll put it up here on the show. Mariana says, you lucked out at Target. I did. Maddie Slimer scales nicely too. To me, the Maddie one scales really nice. I have a lot of the Maddie Ghosts with the Plasma series figures. I think they look really good. Hello, oh snap. I got my days mixed up around for the stream again. Old school Shinobi. It's okay. You're here now.
You're here
now. Basement Toys and Collectibles, man. I wish I was you. Don't wish you were me. You want 2 young kids that'll wake you up at 5 a.m.? You want a kid that'll poop all over the place and you got to clean it up? P-Dubs, mine was Action Vinyl.
The Slimer?
Yeah, send a picture of that to toygeekshow@gmail.com. All right, I think that's all of the toy hauls. But before we get into the main topic of today, I did want to just say one more thing that I did toy related this week. That's going to be a video next week, maybe later. Depends how quickly I can get to it because I've got to do that Masters of the Universe versus video. Which thank you for dropping that off yesterday.
Oh yeah, no problem.
See my setup. I have like all of these He-Man figures, and anyways, it's fun. Okay, so I may have said it before, but I don't have an Ecto 1A in my collection for Kenner. mainly because I want one to have as many of the original stickers as possible. And it's gotten really hard because the stickers on every single one I find flake off.
Mhm.
It's really hard to find them with a lot of stickers. And you could say, okay, we'll just put the new ones on, but I want to try to have it be as original as possible. But the problem is a lot of them also yellow, so you can't retro bright them.
Yep.
But I found one on the Evil Bay that was missing a fin, missing the back door, missing a couple of the stickers, but had up most of them. But it was still like bone white, like really, really white, somehow, miraculously. So I bid on it. And I get it for a pretty cheap price. I think I get it for $35-$40, which is cheap for Ecto.
Nice.
Now Ectos have gone like insane in price. So I got a couple. I got the sticker sheet from that guy in Australia. He makes the best ones. I think Zach Paris is his name, or the store's name. It took like 7 months to get the stickers because mail is awful right now. But I finally got the stickers. And then there's also this person that 3D prints roof rack upgrades for the Ectos. And if there's anything that kind of bums me out about the Ecto 1A is the roof rack is not that like matching how cool the Ecto 1A is in the movie. So all of that is to say, I finally kind of did the restoration. And I think it turned out pretty good. So I'll show you a picture here. Here it is.
Oh, wow. That looks awesome.
Yeah, it turned out pretty good.
So the roof rack, does that come all painted and everything for you?
It's almost all printed in the color that it is.
Oh, nice.
There are some like stickers that you can kind of see that give it some color. I think there's a little red stickers around that little cone, but most of it's printed in the color, which I think. But again, it looks awesome. And then, so the only stickers I had to replace were the little caution tape on the top, that we're back, and then the call us in the front. Other than that, it's all original stickers. They're all still firmly attached. And the Ecto 1A license plates.
Yep.
But it turned out it
looks really good.
Yeah. And then here's the back. They also have a 3D printed upgrade for the bumper to make it more like the Ecto 1A. So check this out. Next to a just an Ecto 1.
Oh, wow.
So really pumped with how it turned out. So be on the lookout. Restoration video, what it took to kind of make it look like that on the Geek Dad Live channel. And then after that, I'll also do like a history of the Ecto 1A video on youtube.com/geekdadlife or geekdad.life. So really, really stoked about that. Pretty nice. Thank you, Old School Shinobi. Slimer picks sent Jay. All right, I will go look for those. John, vamp for a second or two.
All right.
Something.
So one of our big topics today is going to be toys that overdid it. Toy lines, toy companies that just kind of got out of hand, didn't know when to stop. And I think the biggest one we've all experienced in one way or another, whether you are a vendor, whether you just go to toy shows, doesn't really matter what year you were born, you know what it is. And I think you'll agree. And even if you're a fan of the series, you know, and I can't say I really am. I did watch quite a bit of it, but I've never gone back to revisit any of it. But it's a doozy.
Well,
and I think being around for it in its prime,
yeah.
You know, you could see the writing on the wall of what's happening with this series.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. And again, yeah, I think what I love about talking about this topic is it's very rare for a toy line to make it to the point where they can overdo it, right?
Yeah.
A series or two, and that's it.
But
so it happens. So what's the first one we're going to talk about?
All right, the one that probably holds the record is Playmates Star Trek, and it kind of runs across Next Generation. What was it? Deep Space Nine. I can't even remember all of them because I'm just not familiar with every Star Trek series. But the packaging was pretty much all the same. You know, regardless, you would recognize it. But if you are someone who's been to toy shows, you see them lurking in the dollar bins over and over again, even carded, I've been, a dealer for quite some time, and I would get a collection of these things carded, sealed.
Yep.
And I remember one Greensboro toy show, maybe 5 years ago, I had probably 150 of them, all sealed, and I put them out like 3 for $5. And between all day Saturday, and probably until noontime on Sunday, I sold 3. So then there was this other dealer who came from out of state, and I made a deal with him for like, I think maybe 50 cents a piece. And then he just immediately brought him over to his spot. Because actually he was next to me. That's right. He was next to me, and I had them all spread out on a table. So he just took away my sign that said 3 for $5 and put like, 2 for $5, because what he was doing, he was going to go to one of those like SuperCon shows, because LeVar Burton was going to be there. So he was putting aside certain actors, certain characters, because I think I can't remember his name, but who plays Data was going to be at that show. And then
Brent Spiner.
Yeah, Brent Spiner. Yep. And Will Wheaton, the guy that played Worf, might have been going. I can't remember what his name is now either. But he put
Bruce Dorn, or keep going.
But anyway, he put all those aside, and sure enough, he probably sold like 50 of them in an hour, and it just took that one person. He held off. And I could have waited, but I did not want to go home with a single one of those. They're a curse.
Michael Dorn.
Yes. Bruce Dorn is like this Laura Dorn's dad.
Oh yes, Bruce Dorn.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in
Michael Dorn. Yes.
What was he in the? He was in the Burbs, right?
Going out of my head. Come on.
But anyway. Worf, Michael Dorn. Yes, Mariano. Thank you. But in some research in this, they made over 350 of individual characters. That's insane. And that's just the 4.5 inch, because they did 6 inches, they did 12 inches, they did 9-inch figures.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they
didn't Playmates flood the market with a figure for every single character from all the syndicated Trek series back in the. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They would do like costume variants and just an insane amount.
And it would be the same figure. The package would say like a different episode name. It was like Picard from episode 10, and then Picard from episode 19 in the same outfit, but now the accessories are purple rather than silver. And oh my man, they are unbelievable. There's so many out there.
Well, that and just there are, and you can still get them for so cheap, like dirt cheap. I still find them for like $2.50 a piece or something like that, like a $2.50 for a vintage action
sealed. Yeah.
And which I guess is fun, in a certain sense. Like if you're collecting something and you don't want to spend a lot of money, then, collect Star Trek Playmates toys, because you literally can get them for a nickel a piece. And
if you're looking to fill up a bunch of Detolfs, make them look cool, you can do that with Star Trek.
Yeah, wouldn't that make them look cool though?
No, I don't think so. That's like a Band-Aid on a bullet wound.
Because they're not bad figures, and that's where I feel bad dinging them here, because they're not bad. They're good figures,
right? The segment is, they took it too far. They didn't know when to stop,
and part of it too is attention collectors, each figure individually numbered, but you can see on the numbers there's like 700,000, like 700,422.
Yeah.
Like they made so many.
And then even the exclusives, because they had a lot of Spencer Gifts exclusives ones. I remember back then, and it would be like one of 15,000. How many Spencer Gift stores were there? Maybe in the country. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Maybe 300. It's not that many.
Right. And so each store is going to get in like multiple cases. And that's what they were. The Spencer Gifts ones were like 15,000 limited edition. 15,000. That's crazy for some, Z tier character.
Yeah, it's unreal. It's an unreal quantity that it makes sense like in the time that it was there, right? Because you had Kenner brought back Star Wars. You also had kind of the comic book boom and bust, with Death of Superman. And like it was all kind of in that mid 90s range where collectibles became a thing, where this stuff from the 70s, 60s, whatever, was now valuable. And everybody was like, well, I got to get as many of these as possible because 30 years from now, they're going to be just as valuable as the toys from the 70s or these comic books from the 60s. Like Super Action Comics 1 is $2 million. Well, I got to get as many of these because it's going to be just as valuable. And Playmates seem to like almost just lean into it because people bought them, I guess, back then.
Somewhere, somebody was buying them. In mass quantities. But they are still around, and I would say the majority of them, left them sealed.
Mariano said I had to stop finishing the tortillas to stand up for one of my favorite toy lines. I think it's a good toy line, but it did overdo it. It overdid it. I got them when they came out. I'm very happy with them. They did a good job on the ships and playsets. They did. Great place. But there's just too many of them. And I think what the answer to that is today, like just boxes. You can find boxes and boxes and boxes of sealed mock Playmate Star Trek figures. And it's not just like I found boxes of like 20 Picards or 20 Datas or 20 Worfs or there's just characters that are important characters. Like for me, Jean-Luc Picard's my number one captain. I love TNG. Like when as a kid, I loved watching that show. I was more into Voyager than Deep Space Nine, but again, I bought these figures on the shelf back then. But yeah, it's just they made so many of them, and I think old school Shinobi says it well. Nice for a dumpster fire for people trying to figure out trends in the collector's market. Yep.
Yes. Yep.
Yep. That is very true. He also says it's like Doctor Who. I think they make a ton of those figures, but appeals pretty limited strictly to fans of those shows.
Yeah, I'd say so. I think that, Doctor Who has been around for quite some time. I'm not super familiar with it. I've tried to get into it. I can't. It just didn't appeal to me. But I do see like a lot of Doctor Who lots being sold. You see them cheap on eBay, like tons of Doctors, the secondary characters. But the 90s were a different time. The 90s were a special time for toys.
I think the overproduction kind of killed toys in a sense. And then we talked about that before, like when we did the worst movie toys of all time. But the 90s where they just like everything had a, you take the success of Star Wars in the late 70s into the 80s, early 80s with all of the merchandising. And then you have the kind of the pullback of regulations on kids' toys and Saturday morning cartoons. And so you do have this like amazing era of merchandise tying into media. And then 90s is just like overkill on it just because of the how valuable some of those older collectibles were. So
it was like these companies were just getting licensing rights for whatever they can, and those rights were coming in cheap. Like, you know, that's I assume that's what it was, you know. But on the other hand, you think about the 70s, and a lot of things were licensed that you think back now, and you're like, why did they make figures of that? Like, why did Mattel make figures of Welcome Back Kotter?
Yeah, true. It's true.
You know, it was a sitcom kind of thing. Did it require action figures? I mean, they were more so dolls. You know, it was like a takeoff of Mego because it was Mattel.
Yeah.
But was it really a necessity?
Yeah. There's a lot of weird ones like that for sure.
Yeah.
David Ellis says the Playmate Star Trek ships go for insane prices on eBay.
They do.
Still have the figures, but are they that insane? I don't know.
The ships have gone up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I think was it Diamond that made some really nice Star Trek ships, a lot of nice Enterprises, you know, from all across the series, and you know, Klingon ships, everything. And they come with a stand. They're super, super nice.
Yep.
And you know, they're $100+. So I think the affordability of the Playmate stuff, people went after that instead of getting the Diamond stuff. So it just raised the price of the Playmate ships.
Yeah.
You know, naturally.
Yep. Which makes sense. Which I had the Star Trek Generations one that had all the battle damage and stuff like that. The saucer could deconnect from the main ship. I loved that ship as a kid. That was a cool one. I could never get into Doctor Who or Star Trek no matter how many times I tried. I feel like Next Generation TNG is a great show, but if it's not Star Wars, it just isn't. Not an action show. It's like a episode of the week, kind of taking on humanity in the future and stuff like that. It's a different kind of show, but it's good, but it's not for everybody, which I totally get. Looking at some more in the comments here. Let's see. I think mainstream toy company. This is old school Shinobi. I think the mainstream toy company product faltered while you had companies like McFarlane taking toys in a completely different direction. The McFarlane thing is like this kind of split that happened kind of after that mid 90s surge of they made Star Trek and Kenner Star Wars, Power of the Force. And it was a game changer in the business because, you know, that's when you shifted from toys to almost like statues, but there were still toys. That
you sacrificed your articulation for the detail.
Yes. Which for collectors was huge, and that was the case for a while. And then you had Marvel Legends give you detail with articulation, which kind of, I would argue, like that inflection point. When was that? Spider-Man Classic was 0102.
I think it was 02. I think Spider-Man Classic was 02.
I think we're still in from that starting point where we are now with collectibles I can trace it back to that point because we're 6-inch scale, 7-inch scale, highly articulated, highly detailed figures. And you can trace that right back to Spider-Man Classics and then Marvel Legends. Because even McFarlane switched from the statues that had detail with no articulation to being more of the kind of Marvel Legends evolution, so to speak.
Yeah, I think McFarlane has finally figured that out, and maybe get the quality a little bit better because regardless of his detail and articulation, you buy like anything that McFarlane made, between like 2005 to 2010, it's incredibly delicate.
Oh yeah, yep. Mara says, I think I'll finish the tortillas now, but I will return if Playmate Star Trek needs it. Again, I think it has a lot of things that merit, but it's too clearly they did too much. Clearly it was overdone because it's been 30 years, 25 years, and they're still, you can buy them for nothing, relatively speaking, compared to other lines. You can buy it for dirt cheap. Tree Shaker says, something from the 90s I miss is Micro Machines. The Star Wars ones are my first intro to Star Wars toys. And PD Dubs, Micro Machines are back now. They are.
Yes, they are.
Is it a Walmart exclusive right now and maybe mass retail after that? I've only seen them at Walmart.
I haven't seen any yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Some of them have shown up at some of the Walmarts in Raleigh.
No, the only thing I've seen so far are those was it nano rides? There's like a Back to the Future pack. There's like 3 or 4 different packs. There's a GI Joe pack. What, you got it?
Oh no, I lost the camera.
Oh no.
Keep going. Keep talking.
All right. Well, while Jay tries to figure out, where his Micro Machines went. Yeah, I had read that the Micro Machines are coming back. Micro Machines proper, not just Star Wars Micro Machines, just regular vehicles in general.
Yeah, they're great. They look like Micro Machines. They look a little bit more plasticky than original Micro Machines were. But I know my kids love them. Zach loves the old school Micro Machines. So whenever I find them in a lot, I don't try to resell them. I just, he has the van that turns into the city. And
oh, really?
Yeah. So he loves them because they're great. But yes, this is the is it Jada?
Yeah, Jada. Yep. Oh yeah, that's all I've seen. That's close to Micro Machines around me.
These are bigger than Micro Machines though. So yeah. I have the Texaco exclusive when Back to the Future 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I have those.
Yep.
And so this is Micro Machine size. So you can see how much smaller are.
Yeah. And they're a little bit more cartoonish looking.
Yeah, a little bit like the Micro Machines, which are kind of like squatty or but anyway. So I haven't opened them yet, but I was gonna play with them with the boys at one point, but they quickly
everybody gets a DeLorean.
Everybody gets Walmart had a whole bunch of the kind of nice DeLoreans and Ghostbuster Hot Wheels for like $4.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bunch of those and gave those to the boys instead, which they really dug. Yeah. Target has them also for the return of Micro Machines. So good to know. Thank you, Dolphins. 1972. 72, was that the perfect season for the Dolphins? Maybe that's why. Saw them at Target. So, okay. The masses of Playmates 90s toys, the multitude of just inconsistent toy lines from Diamond Select, Artist Island Playmates, and McFarlane toys, though, might just make it so hard for new Star Trek toys. That is something that doesn't need to be said about the Playmates toy line, is it was so expansive they did get everybody. And but it almost maybe proves the point. No company has been successful with Star Trek toys since.
Right. Yeah. Diamond has tried.
Mm-hmm.
Mezco has tried again because they've done the 112, a couple of those.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how well they sell. I know, the Star Trek guys like them.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we'll see that again. I don't think it's going to happen. Even with the return of Picard.
Yep.
And the other CBS, Star Trek offerings.
Haven't done anything for that new Star Trek.
No.
Or either of them.
So it was, lightning in the bottle just once.
Yeah. So there you go. There is even like I remember watching Trekkies when that movie came out, and remember watching that movie. And and we went to convention. He was getting like the Playmate Star Trek figures. I was like, man, why isn't there a Ghostbusters convention? Why is there other nerd conventions? I mean, I like Star Trek, but I want like something that isn't just Star Trek. Little did I know I lived in San Diego, and Comic-Con was like, 5 blocks away. But my parents.
Where'd you go? Jay's lost. He's gone.
I'm back. Sorry.
Are you back? All right.
I accidentally clicked the button. Holy moly. I'm here. Let's see. Old School Shinobi says, I got the Ecto 1 Hot Wheels at Walmart for $5. Yeah, and it's a really good Ecto 1. It's got real rubber wheels with the white wall tires. The top, the roof rack looks great. $5.
I have one of those hanging around here somewhere. I know I moved it today.
And this is the DeLorean, which again, rubber wheels, like paint applications, that stainless steel. Like, it looks great. $5. All right. I know that they already have so many lines, but I kind of want to have Hasbro take a shot at the Star Trek license. That would be interesting.
Who if somebody remembers, somebody listening, who did the Star Trek figures? I think it was a 4-inch line from the what's his name? The J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies.
Playmates did that one.
Did they?
Yeah. They were
awesome. And it came with like they had like builder parts. You know, like you could build a small like you can build a console. It wasn't like a bridge, but you could build like a console of the bridge. Or like each figure came with a tiny section, you know, of a console.
That sounds right. But they were awful. I got the Kirk, at least the smaller scale one, and it looked like crap.
Yeah, they were terrible.
They were.
I got them in a collection. I think I got 2 of every figure.
Nightmare 10880 confirms. Yeah, Playmates did that line, and those were clearance so fast. Like, because again, the sculpting was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I do have the Enterprise was kind of cool. The one that light up and stuff. I still have the Enterprise, but the figures, the worst. I feel like they could maybe work via crowdfunding. Could be. Trek fans do have deep pockets. Old School Shinobi is correct. We took the line back in 2009, and then Hasbro took the license for Star Trek Into Darkness, did some crappy Creo sets. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hasbro did have it for a minute. Well, there you go. Hasbro already tried. All right. We've been hanging a lot on this Playmates, but let's quickly get into some other lines that maybe did it.
All right.
I'll take the next one, and then you can go next. I do, and this could be a controversial pick here or a statement, but I do think Kenner overdid it with Batman. Mainly because, and I love the Dark Knight collection. I love most of these figures from Batman Returns. But it got ridiculous. The level of how many repaints can you do on a figure? And again, Kenner throughout the years was notorious for repaints, reuse. I mean, all the time. I mean, these Batman figures were reuse molds from Superpowers. That penguin is a reuse of a Superpowers penguin. So they were notorious for it. But they just so many Batman figures, and by the end of Hasbro having that license, it was just, to me, Batman figures were on life support by the time Mattel took the license again in the early 2000s, and kind of I think we had a resurgence of DC figures. Period. That took us back to the Superpowers days with, DC Universe. But I what's your thoughts? I think Kenner almost like just beat us over the head with so much.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's like trying to wring out a sponge every single last drop. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the choices they used, I would say, just being a Batman fan, does Batman need to be hiding out in fluorescent yellow? It's who were the designers on these, or who was just the idea men? It was just like yes men, yep, that's good. Yep. We'll do that one and that one and that one.
Yeah. It's not even like the 80s we could blame cocaine. It was just, it was the 90s.
Right. It's we have one mold and we're just gonna it's just gonna keep on running.
I remember when they did like the Batman Returns series 2, and there were even more just repaints of the same mold. And I guess it worked. I guess they made their money, but they redid repainted that mold so many times that I do think it killed the lane.
Yeah. And they would even repackage the same figure, same accessories, same colors, but the figure would have a different name because it was just a different wave.
Yeah. Yep.
Tiger stripe, glow in the dark, silver glitter came up Batman.
Well, Shinobi, you're right. You're right.
If they could fit that on a card, it would have been one.
Sometimes give it 20, 30 years, those things become endearing, and you love them. And some of them you do, like Disco Skeletor. Some of them do get endearing over the years, but
I when I was moving stuff around, and today I have one Batman that I keep on the shelf, a Kenner Batman, and it's black and gold deco, but he's wearing stilts. Where does Batman need stilts? Unless he's painting the ceiling. I don't know.
What paint does he use? Black. They also reuse most from Silverhawks figures. They use the mechanisms from Silverhawks.
Yep.
Yeah.
The wing opening action.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, that one for sure also gets the Overdone label. All right, you take the next Overdone or next two.
All right. So I'm not really super familiar. I've bought and sold this line over and over again. It's not worth nearly what it was at retail. But McFarlane's Walking Dead figures, it is, like the first. I remember the first wave was incredibly popular, and then they changed the card. I think it was 2 zombies or 2 walkers, and Rick and Shane. And the Shane figure was very. I think it was Shane. He got really expensive.
Yeah.
And then they changed the shape of the card. It went from like a square card to a more narrow card. And I remember the first Daryl was very expensive too.
Yep.
And that was like the best time that the Walking Dead figures were going to have. Past that, when they started packaging them in those really narrow cards, and then they were available at Walgreens, you could buy those. You could buy them absolutely everywhere, and like that, cell block flu walker. So the zombie on top of being a zombie has the flu, and I remember the storyline from the show when they were in the prison. But come on, that same Rick is the same Rick as the next wave and the next wave, and the Michonne is the same one after and over and over, Negan over and over and over. And then once they got so far in so many waves, all right, well, we kind of, we beat that to death. Let's make them a little bit taller and put them in a bigger package. Maybe they'll sell more. And it's just one of these lines. Like if the people that are designing these figures or the brand manager, I doubt it's Todd McFarlane. It's going to be, just like any brand manager on any retail line. Couldn't they see how poor the sales were on the secondary market? There's one thing for these figures to be sold in every single store across the country. They're not hard to get. But when you look at the secondary market, you can see like there's no pull for these figures anymore. It doesn't matter what you're going to do. And when they do, we can't sell Daryl and I can't remember what his brother's name is. We can't sell them separately. Put them in a 2-pack and see how that does. I don't get it.
But I feel like, and me pull up the comment here, Old School Shinobi, I think hits the nail on the head. I feel like somewhere along the way, interest in Walking Dead plummeted overnight, and I feel like it does kind of tie into not only the toy line overdo it, but even the show kind of ran out of new material and just has kind of been.
Yeah, I remember.
Still gets good ratings, I guess.
Yeah, I remember because I was an avid watcher. The episode where Negan was going to bash somebody in the head. That was like the one episode I stayed up to watch because I didn't want spoilers the next morning. I wanted to see it in real time. And once I watched it, I think I watched 1 or 2 episodes after that.
Yep.
And I was done. For some reason, it just lost interest totally.
Yeah. Yep. Because even was it Robert Kirkman? He ended the show, like he ended the comic.
Like abruptly.
Yeah.
Like he didn't give it. I think it was supposed to go like 2 or 3 issues over what he ended it at.
He's just like, peace, I'm out.
Yeah. But I think even just like the actors that are on the show, like I'm out. I'm kind of done.
And Old School Show makes it. I think it's a lot for a lot of people. Like kind of after the Negan episode. For one, they were either put off by how gruesome that episode was.
Yeah.
It was pretty gruesome. But 2, it just kind of didn't. It just kind of was treading water at that point. The story.
And same thing with the toys. It's it's just the way it is.
Bread and water. Bread and water. Okay. One last one, and then I have a couple of things from our viewers and listeners that I'm going to plug in here. It is Star Brigade. Star Brigade.
No, it's nothing against GI Joe. We both love GI Joe, obviously. But look at that figure. It's Armor Tech Duke with a cannon for an arm. Like, it's some of these last Joes, yeah.
This might be teetering more into Killing Lane territory, but
yeah,
definitely overdid it for sure. Okay, and McFarlane chastised Kirkman over giving up the cash cow. Now they are republishing the series from issue 1 in full color now.
Ooh. Honestly, big deal.
Oh man, I guess old school Shinobi agrees with the Star Brigade. Yeah, Star Brigade. Brutal. Are those still pretty cheap? Does anybody want to buy those? Does anybody want to buy Star Brigade figures?
Yeah, the completists. Yeah, the completists want them, and they have gone up. They've probably doubled in value in the past 5 years.
So they're about
so now they're like $20.
Oh man, all right. I do have I think we're waiting on Tree Shaker, I believe, wanted to send a picture. I resent Star Brigade is returned. Oh my god. The thing is, like, that's probably right.
Probably, yeah. He's gonna shoot Pence up there with an arm cannon.
Star Brigade, and didn't they also do some series of Toxic Viper mutant Cobra soldiers around the same time?
Yes, the Monstro Vipers, or what were they called? I can't remember, but yeah, they were like Lobotomax, where he was like a half alien, half Viper kind of thing. Yeah. There was the Manimals was one of the series.
Oh yeah, Manimals. Oh my god. It was bad. It was bad. Okay, PD Dubs, who has quickly even though he wasn't a GI Joe fan before, has quickly put together and amassed a fantastic classifieds collection, and he has sent a picture of that collection, so we're going to share it now and ooh and ah and be jealous. Here we go.
Oh wow,
look at that. Look at all those Cobra Troopers.
How'd you make a quick kick?
So he said,
oh, that's right, that's the Shang-Chi, right?
Yep
That's spot on.
Right? It looks great. Nicely done.
Very nice.
Wow. PD Dubs.
How many Cobra Troopers is there? Is that 6?
What's that?
6 Cobra Troopers? Is that what he's got there?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 6. So, and they're single packed. Nicely done. Wow.
Very nice.
You know what you need? You need that exclusive Snake Eyes. I have one. I'll trade you for some Cobra Troopers and that Baroness. It's worth it. Totally worth it. Thanks. Really happy with how quick. Yeah, Quick Kick turned out. It looks official.
It does.
Totally official. We need some like closer up pictures of that, PD Dubs.
Yeah,
because that Quick Kick looks fantastic.
Because that is how Hasbro is going to save a buck. They're going because they got this Shang-Chi mold.
You're right. You're right. You're not wrong. But look at that Baroness. She's just teasing me. Who's between Duke and Quick Kick? That's the Cobra Island Target exclusive Roadblock.
Yep. It's a great figure.
Oh man, he's cool with the freaking beard.
Mm-hmm.
So dope. So nicely done, PD Dubs. We are all jealous of your collection. Anybody else that's listening right now or watching right now, send us your collection pics, or just send in anything that you want to talk about on the show. Send it to toygeeksshow@gmail.com. It's toygeeksshow@gmail.com. We'll read your stuff on the show. Oh, I think we got it. Hold on. Here we go. I'm gonna download it here. Keep talking.
He's already got the close-up quick pick.
Oh no, we got one of I think Tree Shaker's He got a Slimer.
Oh yeah,
Talking about earlier. Hold
is
on,
it the Funko one?
yeah, it's not a Funko Pop though. I don't know, and maybe you can give us that answer real quick.
Yeah.
Are
we gonna get a picture of the tortillas soon?
Oh yeah, Mariano. I'm kind of craving some tortillas now.
I know.
Tortilla chips.
I'm trying to think what Funko could be. Oh, maybe one of the blind box guys. Like they did the little what were they called? I can't even remember now. But yeah, there was like a horror ones. They've done all kinds of mystery minis.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh wow. That does scale really well.
Yeah. Again, I think the Maddie ones work really well, but if you don't have one, Action Vinyl is what it's called. Action Vinyl. It scales really well.
Yeah, it does.
So good tip. Thanks for the lead, Tree Shaker. But yeah, it fits in really well. So that's awesome. Hold on. He also has another picture here, which is a lot of fun. Let me pull that one up here.
Have you noticed if the Maddie ones have gone up in price because people want like the taxi ghost and the library ghosts or any of those? Because that was really the only way you could get something like that.
Yeah, it was like accessory to it. I haven't looked, but that's what I've done with mine. Is just kind of keep them with the or mash them with the plasma figures, because the subway ghost, I didn't get the taxi cab ghost because I think I quit the Maddie line by that point. But the subway ghost, the librarian, and the Slimer and the trap, everything, like the accessories, like the traps look really good with the plasma figures.
Yeah.
And the stream accessories work with the plasma figures as well. So there's a lot of swapping you can do. And until I get that Lewis Tolley, the Maddie Lewis Tolley looks great. The Walter Peck scales really well. So for anybody that kind of got disappointed by the Maddie line, but maybe still has it sitting in a box somewhere like I did, it does sit really well on the shelf. Here's another picture. We got Pete with the Black Series lightsaber. And I guess Luke is rocking the Proton Pack there.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Good lighting.
Yeah, very good lighting. Very nice. And some smoke effects. Are those live smoke effects? Nicely done. Very nicely done. Sup peeps, digging the lives. Thank you.
Thanks, KJ.
Yes, we did get one of the Scolari brothers. I have that one as well, but we didn't get the other Scolari brother. Or maybe that's the Peter Scolari. I can't remember which Scolari brother it is. But
yeah, both brothers are out there.
They did both?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I only got the fat one. Which one was that one? That's the one I got.
Yeah, he was the one that came with like alternate feet, right? Where like his feet are like flat or like tipped back a little bit, like he's floating.
Which is kind of stupid. Wouldn't you rather just have an articulating ankle joint instead of getting an extra feet?
I thought when I got them that for some reason I had extra feet. I didn't understand why I was like broken.
Yeah, it's that one was whatever. I have exchanged correspondence with toy guru Scott Knightlick on LinkedIn or something. So I feel like we could get him on our show and we can talk to him and be like, why the hell did you have those extra feet?
Yeah.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
That'd be great if we could get him on here.
Because I'd love to talk to him. Because I feel like, one, he gets a bad rap for a lot of what happened with Maddie Collector, because from what I hear, it was very much just by the seat of their pants, so to speak.
Yeah. There was no money for it. There was no money backing that line. It was him 100%.
Yeah. And so I would love to get him on and just kind of talk to him about, I'd love to get his thoughts on the Motu Origins line and everything that Maddie is doing now with Masters of the Universe. I'd be curious to get his opinions there. But maybe we could ask him too, like, why did you just articulate the damn legs? That can't be more expensive, right? You do sculpting, you do figure and stuff.
They must have a pair of ankles somewhere in a mold. Or just the regular figures, the Ghostbusters themselves, because the Ghost was wearing, boots or whatever.
Smaller scale though. It was a smaller scale.
Yeah.
You're asking you please post your email address right there, scrolling at the bottom of the screen if you're watching this live. If you're at home, it is toygeekshow@gmail.com. And in your picks. And yeah, I think we are about done for today's episode. John, any final thoughts before we close out the show?
Nope, we covered it. That's it. I'm out of thoughts. If you're out there thinking about starting a toy line, don't beat it to death. Just, end it on a good note.
Yeah, exactly. End it season 7. Don't go past that. Season 7 is as far as you can go. Then it gets bad. Otherwise, you're going to get the old. Oh, man. Well, hopefully everybody's toy hunts are successful next week. Maybe I'll run into a Baroness. I'm not holding my breath. And
I'll have stuff for tomorrow. I got a delivery showing up tomorrow,
Ooh.
barring the post office in their schedule, but I will have goodies for next week.
Ooh, very excited. Very excited. Peace out, guys. Tortillas and toys.
Oh, Mariano.
We'll say that for next episode, Mariano.
Yep.
Definitely be on there. Again, we record these live 9 p.m. Sundays Eastern time on youtube.com/geekdadlife, or you can subscribe wherever podcasts are sold for free. We post the show the next day. Paul Kane, great show, guys. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Hope you're doing well.
Miss you. And Ron, hope you both are doing well.
Yes.
Staying safe. PD Dubs, see ya again. PD Dubs, jealous fan of the week. And my quints come tomorrow. Oh, is that dropping the quints from Jaws? The NECA
That's Quint. That's
Quint?
Quint. What's Quint? And unless Mariano means Quint,
has multiples.
Because the NECA Quint and Chief Brody, they're coming.
It's right by your Jaws collection's right there.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you all next
right
time. Hasta luego and goodbye.